Hello and welcome. I am just going to do a reading for the current energies right now and see what comes through. This time right now feels very significant. It's been extremely windy where I am the last few days. Intense wind, which gives me the feeling of transition and change, and like nothing is set in stone at the moment. So we might feel like the urge to do things, but not able to solidify anything at the moment, which might make you feel unsure, uncertain, doubtful, worried. Okay, let's see. So we have the Vast Universe card. This is a number 1. And this is sort of what I was sensing before I started the video, that there is universal energies at play right now. Cosmological events, solar flares, planetary transitions. And some of us are sensing and perceiving all the energetic shifts on a physical level. We might be having physical symptoms, but we're also sensing a lot on an energetic level. And often it's hard to put into words what we are feeling and sensing, like a knowing, but not being able to explain it. And just sort of understanding it on a deeper level, but not at a conscious awareness. It's important right now to not localize and focus our attention and energy too much on specific things, like if there's work things or relationship things or home or family things that comes up. It's important to take a step back and understand that there are huge things that are happening behind the scenes and on a higher level that is affecting our day-to-day things and specific things in our lives, and we might try to control it and manipulate it and direct it, but it's really out of our control at this moment, and you sort of just have to flow with the cosmic energies. I'm getting the picture of weeds in the wind, bending and flowing with the wind. The wind is pretty intense, and not being rigid as in this was the plan, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to do it, but really allowing the universe to unfold things in the most perfect way for your desired outcome. And we will often, when things are not going according to our plans and how we want it to unfold, we get frustrated and angry and worried, and even depressed, because it seems like what we want is out of reach or we're losing it, but you're not actually losing it. And this helps us build trust and faith in the universe, and helps us to connect with our higher selves and with Source or God, however you want to label it, and really manifesting in a different way. We are co-creating with Spirit. We are no longer creating on a physical level. We are creating on an energetic level, and then it manifests in the physical. And often we get pulled back to trying to control matter and control things on a physical level, on a 3D level, because it's what we know. But then things often don't work out when we try to do it that way, and that's where the frustration comes. And we then have to take a step back. And even when things are overwhelming, there's a number of things coming at you at the same time, and you feel pressure to get things done, it's important to take a step back. And I think right now meditation is our biggest and best tool to use. Even if it's just sitting outside in the sun, listening to the birds, feeling the earth underneath your feet, feeling the sun and the wind on your skin, or going to sit down and lie down somewhere quiet and just envisioning the vastness of the universe and the infiniteness of it. It brings a sense of peace, and a sense of trust that all this magic that is beyond what we see day to day when we are just looking at the TV and looking at our telephones and our cell phones and our computer screens and the dishes, and the bowls, and just our attention is so focused on the near things, the things right in front of us, conversations and things to do, that we forget all of this. And we are really being pulled back to that right now. So, just going within, and I often try to, when I do meditate, to sort of shift my eyes when it's closed to my third eye, and almost instantaneously there's this vision of the universe, and the vastness, and it just brings the sense of calm and the sense of knowing, even if I'm not thinking anything specific, but it's just a feeling. And I think we've been experiencing a lot of exhaustion. I've been having headaches, and that's when we get caught up in the mind too much, and we are not having that heart-mind connection, because really that's how we are called to live now. You need to be feeling and sensing intuitively, but also feeling your emotions, so that we no longer hold it inside and suppress it, but just to release it, but also to make better decisions. So it's not just from a mental, cognitive, logical, practical place, but both of them in balance, a heart-centered, heart-based choice that is practical and logical at the same time. So yes, there might be some stormy seas and some conflict, and that can be anything from financial matters to legal matters to family issues, and maybe just even if it's not that severe, it depends on how much you are in alignment with your soul and how much personal growth you've been doing and shadow work you've been doing. So it might just feel uncomfortable, like things are a little bit shaky and uncertain, or it could really be a big tower and lots of things being shaken up. If you've been consistently making the changes that your soul is guiding you to do, then it might be a little bit unnerving, like you're losing your balance a little bit, but you're quickly able to get back into alignment and pull your power back and be calm and be centered and grounded, but still connected. And for others, it can be big shakeups, and that can be scary. You might feel like, okay, I'm going to drown now. This is the end. The ship's going down. But you might just need that big conflict, that big loss, that big trauma. If this ship goes down, we might be think that I'm lost out at sea and this is end, it's tickets now. But there might just be land in the background, and that's just maybe exactly where you need to be going and where you're going to find a treasure or a new beginning. It's hard not to be afraid. But when we get to this rocky seas, if we go within and connect to our higher selves and to the universe, it just brings us back to who we are beyond our human selves, so that we can release the control and allow what needs to happen at this time. And then we have travel, and this could be physical travel for some, either a holiday, that might be necessary, or a move. For a lot of people, you're being called to move to places that is going to catalyze, start off, initiate the next part of your journey. Or this could not be a physical move, but a move in terms of the situation and place where you are in your life, with who you are and what you're doing and who you're surrounding yourself with. So there might be, we're going to a new place, whether it's physically or spiritually, emotionally, mentally. There's a move and a shift, and this is why things are feeling so chaotic at the moment. Okay, let's pull some more to clarify. This is at the bottom of the deck, Ascended Master. So there's lots of help at the moment. Our guides, other higher dimensional beings are assisting us greatly at the moment. Okay, I want to pull some archetype cards to see what kind of shadow things might come up at the moment, that we might be working through on a personal level, for whoever's going to see this. Okay, we have the Servant, and the light attribute of the Servant is delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. And the shadow aspect is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward in life. That's pretty self-explanatory. And I've definitely been feeling this energy of, it will either be, if you are surrounded by people and situations that are good for you, there will be this ease in giving of yourself and serving others, giving love, giving resources, giving time, giving energy, sharing what we have, sharing our abundance and wealth with others. And if we are not in a place surrounded by people that are good for us and that is in alignment with where we are going and our individual, unique soul paths, then it will feel like a drain. If we are not, if there's a lesson to be learned here regarding how we give and to who we give and what the intentions are behind how we are giving of ourselves, if there's a lesson there, it might be around money at the moment. And we can't use the excuse, I am not changing jobs, when I know I should be changing jobs because my soul is calling me to do this kind of work, but now I'm staying in this job or at this house or in this relationship because of money issues. That is something that's going to be coming up to look at. We often, our ego wants to feel safe and secure before we make any move, and that can keep us stuck for a really long time, and then it can become really painful. So if you know that there's a move you need to make the move, even if it's small steps. The most important thing is to decide that I need to make the change and allowing the universe to make the changes for you. But when we start off by saying, I can't do this now, it's not going to happen, it's not possible right now, all these excuses about why not to do the things that we are called to do deep inside, that we know because of money issues, that's something that's coming through strongly. When you make the move, if you know that you need to start this business project and you haven't been able to do it for a long time because you're too busy at work or family's keeping you too occupied, every time you feel like you want to take a step forward, then something happens, somebody gets sick or somebody needs your help. It's about knowing when we need to be serving and helping, and when we need to first be doing what is right for us, so that we can get back to doing this in a more intentional, more directed way. And you will know, because once you make the decision, if it is moving to a specific place and you don't know how you're going to afford it or how you're going to get there, if you just listen to your intuition and just take a chance, and you often have to take a calculated risk, you'll see that it just unfolds and it just turns out well, and somehow the resources, the money that you need to accomplish it just appears. Then we have the damsel. I feel like I'm rambling but making sense at the same time. My words seem to be a little bit blurred, but anyway, we have the damsel. The light attributes of the damsel. My boys they get loud when I'm doing readings, as if on purpose. Understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. And the shadow attribute is waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. That's an interesting one. So romantic relationships are something that is also highlighted. If you are in a healthy dynamic, you will feel comfortable within yourself, and your partner will make you feel comfortable with being yourself, being interdependent and not codependent. An unhealthy dynamic is someone will shame you, guilt you, make you feel bad for not always catering to their needs, and anything that is for yourself, they will make you feel bad about it. They will make you feel like you're a bad person, or you're not giving them enough. In a healthy dynamic, you should be able to give to each other, but also we should be able to give to ourselves. And it will feel easy, it will feel comfortable, there will be no conflict. This is really telling me that when we are in a healthy relationship with ourselves, we can be in healthy relationships with others. So if you are looking for someone else to fill your cup, it's really important to take a step back. Then it isn't a space and time to get into a relationship. And it is really a healthy thing to do. If you are in a relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise, where there's conflict, even if it's a marriage, even if it's a mother or father, even your children, it is completely healthy, if things are not going well, to remove yourself, whether it's for a moment, whether it's for a day, whether it's for an undefined period of time. It is healthy to be able to get clear with yourself first, instead of continuously having the cycles of toxicity and conflict. Any person that loves you enough and loves themselves enough will give you and themselves the space you need to resolve certain things within yourself, so that you can resolve difficult things within your relationship. Yes, we want to be connected, we want to be able to share with someone, and come together and blend our energies, but still be able to maintain our individuality. But if you're constantly waiting for that person to fix themselves so the relationship can become better, or waiting for someone to come into your life so that your situation in life can become better, guess what? That space will remain the same, will remain empty, or remain in conflict, because you're waiting. We have to be actively looking into the mirror and seeing ourselves, and not looking at people and seeing what they're doing or not doing, or trying to fix them. We have to be continuously looking into ourselves. And when we resolve things within ourselves, it gets resolved within our relationships. But we need to give ourselves the time and space to be able to do that. And you can do that in a relationship if the relationship is balanced and harmonious. The bottom of the deck here, we have the Poet. This reading's going a little bit long. expresses soul insights in symbolic language. What's happening now and what we are sensing and feeling and experiencing is often hard to put into words, but there are ways that we can find to articulate and express what we are feeling. If it's whether that is for others or for ourselves, write down what you're feeling. And don't worry about not knowing ahead of time what you're going to be writing. Often the words just come. Sometimes just dancing along to music, or exercising, doing yoga, anything creative. Sorry, I just got interrupted. It really becomes unsettling when we don't express or somehow release what we are experiencing and feeling, and we have to find healthy ways of doing that. Even as an adult, I find it really soothing to just sit down with my boys and color and draw with them, or garden, or cook something, make some tea, anything just to work through what we're doing, even just tidying up and cleaning the house. In that time when your body's busy but your mind is sort of just on autopilot, it really helps us to process a lot. Okay, I did want to pull a few tarot cards to clarify this energy. Okay. I'm actually going to put that back in. Six of Pentacles. Ooh, the cards are just flying. And then I struggle to pick them up. Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Hierophant. So there's a lot of us are dealing with financial issues, money matters, but also reciprocity in relationships and equal give and take. Some might actually even be dealing with having to help other people out with money, and trying to figure out where to put our resources, who we should help or shouldn't help. Should we be saving? Is it okay to spend? And there might be, there are some that are in a stable financial position and are being asked to help the people around them. And you really have to follow your intuition with this. There has to be balance. It's not, because I'm in a good place and people around me, I should be obligated to give them. No. We have to trust our intuition as to when to give, so that it's balanced, so that we are not over giving or holding on to our assets and resources and money and not sharing it with others. And it will be different for all of us. We are having to stand our ground on certain things, and even assert yourself with certain people, setting healthy boundaries. It can become conflicting when we want to just be in a loving, giving energy. We want to be in a loving, giving energy, but sometimes it's necessary, even with the people that we love the most, to stand firm and create healthy boundaries so that this balance can be restored or maintained. But we are feeling excited and creative and passionate about what's coming and almost wanting to move forward quickly. But that might not be the best thing at the moment. You sort of have to ride the waves and go with it. So when it's going fast, allow it. When it's slowing down, not trying to force it and rush it. And then we have the Hierophant. New partnerships is what's coming through to me. Partnerships that is divinely guided. Might even be commitment for some. And relationships that are going to be key to the next part of your journey, and not just your specific journey, but collectively, specific people are coming together for a bigger purpose. What do we have at the bottom of the deck? We have the Strength card, taming the ego. But what is coming through mostly with this is being courageous at this time. And courageous can look like surrender, having the courage to surrender and allow what needs to fall away, allow what needs to happen. Or courageous could mean taking guided action, divinely guided action in the direction of the things that we feel passionate about, because the things that we feel most passionate about and love is placed within our hearts for a reason. It's to steer us and guide us to where we need to be. And then finally, I just want to pull from the light, Work Your Light Oracle deck. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And this is what I've been saying. Those deep desires, that yearning, longing we feel for a person or for a job or for a creative project, it's calling you there for a reason. And again, if you are being called to move towards something new, whether it's a new hobby, sometimes things starts out as, I want to try this out, it might be fun, we just want to do something new, and then it turns into something much bigger than we had anticipated. So even if it's something small, like if you're being called to go to a specific store to go and get something, or if it's something major, there's a reason you're being called to it, and it's resonating so deeply with it. So answer the call. And then we have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. There's a portal coming up. I think the 2nd of February 2022 seems like a significant time, and even the 22nd of February. I think between the 2nd and the 22nd, that period is going to be a portal period, and we're really coming out of this darkness and going into a lot more of a lighter energy. But this is going to either feel just energetically like things feel different, things feel lighter, easier, and better after a period of darkness, or we are going to see very big physical changes in our lives, depending on whether we've been answering the soul call and actually making the moves and listening to our higher guidance. Often when we go through these portals, everything looks very new to me, like everything seems brighter. You're noticing things you never noticed before. You're more connected. You hear, see, feel, sense, smell, in a different way. And you perceive relationships differently. You perceive what's going on in the world differently. And again, it's going to be different for all of us depending on where you are in your journey. But we are being initiated at the moment, and initiated in the sense that whatever conflict you're experiencing now or changes you're experiencing now, it's sort of like when you go with it and allow it, it's like a yes to going to this new place. And if we resist it and we don't go along with the changes, then we end up staying here for another cycle in this difficult, dark place. So we really need to allow what's happening right now. Answer the soul call. And then at the bottom of the deck we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. And we might or might not see the physical, tangible manifestations, but it's enough to just, sometimes we get this anticipation, this feeling of anxiousness, like, something is coming and something is changing and something is about to happen, but you can't see it. Or that job or that car or that relationship, you're like, it started, but then I'm not seeing anything and it's not moving forward. but know that things are being birthed and manifest and created. And when we get that sense, it's already been created, and sometimes we sabotage it because we feel it, but we're not seeing it, and then we think, oh well, this is not for me, or I give up, and then we sort of trying to prove ourselves, our ego's right in saying, you see, that wasn't meant for you. And then we have this sense of loss and grief and pain because you actually know that it was for you, but we subconsciously sabotage it and don't allow the manifestation. Okay, I think, yes, that's all the cards I'm going to pull. The reading did seem a little bit here and there and all over the place, but I hope you found something meaningful to help you through this time. Whenever you do find this reading, it may be applicable to you. And yeah, I'll see you on another video.